Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Zen, and in this video we are going to be looking at how to use Emmet. So let's get into it. Okay, so as always, the first thing we're going to do when we've got Visual Studio Code open is to create a brand new page, and we're going to call this one Emmet-1 because that's what we're doing. And ironically, we're going to use Emmet to start our page up. Okay, colon 5. Here we go. So in order to try and keep these videos short, I'm just going to keep this one to the most basics, and I'll probably do a couple of extra ones to follow. For those who aren't quite sure what Emmet is, it's a kind of an autocomplete. It is a it allows us to use abbreviations for bits of code, and then it makes up the rest of it for us. Just like you saw me do there with the HTML5. That is literally what HTML colon 5. That is 6 characters, and it produces all the stuff we can see on the screen. It is a very powerful little tool, and I do recommend people use it. Okay, so in the most basic of basics, using Emmet will by default create div elements. Okay, so we'll prove this by doing a B1 class. So we just type in dot, which is the shortcut in Emmet for a class, B1, and we press enter. Just move that out of the way so we can see it. Press enter, and off we go. It creates a div element with a class of B1. The next step is, well, what if you want multiple classes in your element? Well, guess what? You just keep putting in the dots. So dot B1 for class B1, dot B2, following it, dot B3, dot B4. And once you've finished putting all your classes in, you can press enter, and it creates it for you just like that. It's really nice and simple. Obviously, we don't just have classes, we also have IDs, and that works in the same way. It uses the CSS variant like it does for the class, which is the hash for ID, shortcut for ID, and then we put the ID name in. So we're going to call this one Bob. Okay, so hash Bob, enter, and we've got it. And yes, you can mix and match the two of them. So you can do hash ben dot b1 dot b2, and then we have an ID with ben and with 2 classes. But what if you don't want to use this? Because let's be honest, if you're doing a semantic web page, we wouldn't use divs very often, only for unimportant areas. So how would you do this with, for example, a section, which is perhaps more semantically correct? And again, remember, Emmet is there for a shorthand. So what you have to do is type in the element type, okay, in this case section. And in fact, you just press enter at the end of that, it creates that section for you. What it does is, you can see, it's created the less than and greater than brackets around it, and it's also done the opening and closing tags of it, which makes it really, really easy. And that works for everything else. For example, BR for new line does it for you there. Okay, UL, there you go. LI, choose any one you want. Horizontal rule, does that still work? Yep, there you go. What you can't do is type in a load of rubbish like this. Okay, it will realise that's a load of mumbo jumbo and will ignore it. It does occasionally get confused with certain words, thinking they may be element names, but essentially that's how you do it. Now we've done a section, we'll just redo that. What if we want our section to have a class? Well, you write section, and then you just carry on like we did before. So section dot b1 b2. Whoops, mistake there. Notice I've got a space, that won't work. So b1 dot b2, and that'll work fine. One thing you have to be careful with Emmet is making sure that when you press enter, you have just finished typing the code. And what I mean by that is, if I just do that last one again, section b1 dot b2, if I press space, it's lost the connection. Okay, so I press enter now, it's disappeared. Okay, also if you copy and paste it, okay, so if I copy that and paste it underneath, it won't work. And what you have to do quite often, I say even if I go back next to it like that, still won't work. You actually have to delete one digit, put it back in, press enter, and it will work. And that's Emmet in a nutshell. In the next video I'll be doing more difficult things such as adding siblings and adding child elements. Hope you found it useful. As usual, if you did, please like it. If you didn't like it, tell me you didn't like it. Put something in the comments. Do the subscribe and all that jazz. And I'll see you in the next video. This is Zen, signing out.